Hi, Christina Brown with the Brown team here.
And Eva Shields with Brown team.
Yep, she is our closing coordinator. So she is licensed, she goes on all our inspections, and she's actually kind of handy herself. So she's very familiar with a lot of things that come up. So she's really good in this department, but we wanted to talk today about the inspections and maybe offer suggestions on how to respond after inspection. So first of all, when a buyer goes under contract, that's your first step, is to schedule that inspection and do that inspection. Typically, we're writing the offers contingent on inspections. So the inspections can make or break the deal, very possibly most of the time. Because it's such a big issue, we felt we should talk about it a little bit, right? So when a buyer does inspections, they will get a full report back, and typically they have 10 days from the time they go under contract to do all the inspections. So they may just start with a whole house inspection, then decide they want to add a sewer scope, or they're concerned about the electrical. Maybe they want to have an electrician come out, or even have a fireplace inspection,
or a roofer.
chimney, or So whatever inspections you do, you have to do all of them within that time period. Then you must give notice to the seller how you're responding to the inspections and send copies of all the reports. So if there's termites, you have to send that termite inspection report showing that there's termites, and then ask, hey seller, will you treat for termites? Most of the time that is the number one thing we do ask.
Because we're in Missouri and it's not if you have termites, but when.
Exactly. And so if you do come back with activity or evidence of wood destroying insects, because it's not always termites, it's carpenter bees, carpenter ants, but anyways, wood destroying insects, then we do want the sellers to treat for that pretty much 99 times out of 100. It's pretty much a given, because usually the lender gets that report and they are going to require it as well. So make sure, be prepared that you may have to do a termite treatment if you're a seller. And then the other things that come up is always like electrical and plumbing, and this doodad's loose, maybe there's a loose outlet or a sink that's leaking and things like that. So things that we feel are important.
The roof is obviously very important. If your inspector if you have a good inspection company, they should get up on the roof and they'll let you know their thoughts on whether it's something that the seller could consider claiming on his insurance, and they'll recommend that a licensed roofer look at it as well, which is when you would need to make sure you get a roofer out to the house within that same 10-day period. Foundation,
that's a biggie, And even if you're a conventional buyer getting a conventional loan, if there are big cracks in that foundation, the appraiser can require that a structural engineer comes and inspect, and if that structural engineer suggests any sort of improvements, the lender will usually require that to be done, even with conventional.
Foundation cracks are pretty obvious,
Yes.
when you're looking at a home from an appraisal standpoint.
Exactly. And we look at it as really anything that is a big ticket item, or could lead to a big ticket item repair, or if it adversely could affect the value. So leaving something leaking and leaking and leaking and leaking and leaking will definitely cause
over time,
adversely affect the value of the property. Anything that's a safety issue, anything that's a code violation, those are the things that you want to look at dealing with.
Yes, and anything that might be a pre-existing condition where your home warranty is concerned. So if they say, you need the HVAC checked out by a licensed professional and just serviced and cleaned, you want to make sure and take care of that, because if you're going to get a home warranty, that would be a pre-existing condition,
which would negate it from being covered with that warranty unless you did so. So those are all good things. And we look at it case by case. Some people are handy. Hey, if you're an electrician, you're probably going to want to do the electrical stuff yourself. If you're a plumber, you're probably going to want to do the plumbing stuff yourself. If you're not these things, then you're going to want a professional to do it, and we're very specific in our resolution that we write out addressing how we want them to repair or take care of these things. And the other option is we can always, in lieu of doing any repairs, do financial concessions. We can do that instead, especially if you are an electrician, let's say.
Yes.
And if you were going to have to pay an electrician to do the work, it would be $2,000 or whatever. Then you could ask for those in concessions and obviously do the work yourself.
Yeah.
So those are things as well. But anyways, if you all have any questions, anything that goes along with inspections that maybe we didn't answer or you want more information on, just reach out. We're always happy to help.